Hey folks, welcome to this episode of Business Redefined. As always, this is your weekly most comprehensive look at the world of business, finance, and economics. We want to talk about investment in Kenya and why we should be thinking about this market as the pivotal hub, not just for East Africa, but the wider East and Central Africa and the larger continent. And sitting right at the center of this is the Nairobi International Financial Center, a conversation which stirs a lot of conversation. Are we still competitive? Are we not? What about our competitors across the region? And we're privileged to have the man in charge, Daniel Maina. Dan, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
First time we're sitting, man.
Thank you, Julian.
It's taken a bit of a while to get us seated.
No, but it's about time. It's about time.
First of all, a year and a half in, getting out of early days, how is it so far?
A good challenge. A good challenge. Trying to get the right mix in order. Trying to get the ingredients, which Kenya already has, but you just need to organize it better. As you know, over the past year and a half, we have been positioning Nairobi as a regional financial hub. And the NIFC is right center at the country's economic future. So what we've done, we have been having a lot of focus on attracting the right people to the country. Not if you attract everybody, you'll get a few issues. However, we've been very deliberate in ensuring that what are we doing to be able to bring the right investment into, or the right capital into the country. Number one, of course, you have to take care of incentives. Number two, you have to take care of the whole ecosystem. If you draw a 360-degree circle and said, is any investor able to come in and exit the market in a comfortable way? That is what we've been trying to do.
I see.
Yeah.
And I've seen quite a raft of certifications coming ever since you came into office.
Mm-hmm.
Give us more insight into that, and more specifically, as you talk about attracting the right sort of investors,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of focus on tech
Mm-hmm.
and all the emerging capabilities in the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to answer it this way. Our economy, Julian's, is quite a multifaceted economy, whereby from time immemorial, we have been dependent on foreign exchange from manufacturing, textiles, tourism, agriculture. And the purpose of the NIFC, and when Vision 2030 came about, and we said that what will spiral Kenya and increase our FX reserves? What will increase foreign direct investment? There are two sectors which are front and center, in which Kenya is actually in pole position in the continent: financial services and technology. Yeah. So what we did over the past year, we said we're going to concentrate on 4 to 5 pillars in that segment. Number one, what are we doing to attract holding companies and regional headquarters? Number two, what are we doing to attract startups? Number three, what are we doing to attract funds, the private equity and the VC ecosystem? Then number four, what are we doing to attract tech? And number five, what are we doing to attract new innovations? New innovations means things in carbon and things in digital assets, which we're going to talk about. So those 5 key things are what we concentrated on and said, if we just work on these 5 things, we are going to ensure that Nairobi becomes the hub of fund domiciliation in the continent. Number two, it becomes the home of startups in the continent. And number 3 becomes the home of tech in the continent. So we have focused on that. Fortunately, we have the Virtual Assets Act now.
Yeah.
And we are working on the regulations, which should be out in the next couple of weeks, but this year. The attraction from the world with regards to virtual assets and digital assets is quite heavy, and we have seen a lot of interest in that. So we have been working together with the Capital Markets Authority, together with the Nairobi Securities Exchange, and also the Central Bank of Kenya, to ensure that whole ecosystem is taken care of. As you know, one of the incentives that we have is the carbon exchange. Once that sets up, we set up the regulations, we were working together with the NSC and setting up a carbon exchange. And that is attracting a lot of people, and also with the CMA. The new raft of certifications, which we had about 15 this past quarter, are in tech, in carbon, in regional headquarters, and also in financial services. So we have seen a lot of interest. And this year as well, later on, this new financial year, we have a target of about 40 new firms coming in. As you know, by 2028, we want to have about 150 firms in the NIFC. But we're not chasing numbers, Julians. We're chasing quality here. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As you talk about chasing quality many will tell you, especially when you're looking at, as you said, players in the fund management space, PE, VCs, they need predictability, which, Daniel, we need to be honest here, we're not really known for from a regulatory standpoint and especially from a taxation standpoint. How do you navigate that?
One of the mandates of the Nairobi International Financial Center is actually just that. When you go around the world and you benchmark with other established financial centers, they were created to sort out that issue. We have the issue you're talking about with regards to predictability. Number one, the current incentives that we have, they can take you even to maximum 20 years. So you have corporate income tax for the first 10 years at 15%, then it graduates to 20% subsequent to 10 years. So if you're given an investor a tax environment, predictable tax environment for 20 years, I think globally,
That's good runway.
that's a good runway. However, I think we need to do a little bit more than that. And that is why we want to bring in more private capital to sit in the country. For you to bring in private capital in the country, private capital follows predictability.
Yeah.
And it follows safety. So what safety measures as an investor are you giving me in the NIFC for me to be able to stay here long haul? Number one, I have to ensure that I'm not changing your laws every year. And that is why we've been very deliberate in the way we work with our stakeholders in government with regards to, yes, we've given you these 4 to 5 incentives, you investors. However, we're doing something more. And what we're doing right now, Julian, we're working on improving our regulations. And also, number 2, giving a better product offering for investors. And giving product offering for investors, we're working together very closely with the National Treasury and ensuring that the NIFC now becomes one of the most competitive financial centers in the continent. As you know, geopolitics is working for us, in our favor, because now people are looking at option 2, option 3. The major financial hubs globally are now facing some headwinds.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think for us, in Nairobi, we're making deliberate steps to ensure that, number one, I sort out that ecosystem, and that ecosystem being the private equity and the VC space, and they're attracting long-term capital to sit here. Our issue has been structuring. Can we structure deals here? Sometimes the structuring does not happen here, but the money comes here and then it leaves. And for far too long, we've been called a drop-off market. Drop-off market, so capital does not sit.
Yes.
So
it's hot money.
Exactly. So we want that money to sit here longer. So we want long money. But long money also, it needs opportunities. So we want to ensure that if you're coming in, you can come, you invest, and you can also exit through the stock exchange, through the securities exchange. So what we're working also with the NSE is that we want to create a segment whereby people can come in, they can also exit from there. Now, that also creates another level of predictability and also trust within the financial services ecosystem.
The challenge I see there, Dan, and if you talk to guys who have been very active in the alternative markets, private equity, VC, M&A, and you ask them, why don't you go to the main market for your exit routes? They will tell you it's very simple. Your markets are not deep and liquid enough. There is no guarantee. For example, if I run a retail outlet, I want to divest 60%. I don't have a guarantee I'll have an offtake that actually slumps up the entire 60%. How do you address that? Because until that is addressed, that exiting via the exchange will remain a headache.
Number one, I think 90% of capital sitting in Africa is sitting maybe in one country, which is South Africa. Number 2, about last year, we had about $4 billion in transactions within the startup ecosystem, and also the PEVC ecosystem. $1.4 billion out of that was Kenya. If you ask me, between you and I, does that $1.4 billion sit in Nairobi? That is now a difficult question to ask because the answer is actually no. But how can I ensure that $1.4 billion sits here and is reinvested in Kenya? Yes, we have a depth of liquidity issue, but something that we also found out over the past 1 year is that there is capital, but that capital needs to find a home.
Yeah.
It's sitting somewhere. So what are we doing to ensure that we stimulate the market so that through product, because good money follows a product. So do we have good products enough to ensure that that money is invested in Kenya? And that is what we're working on right now. And I can tell you, some people may say that, oh, you guys are saying that this thing is going to happen, this thing is going to happen within a specific period of time. But we also need to establish what have we done right now. It's very, very important. For example, I always tell people it's akin to building a house. Your foundations and your pillars need to be so strong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we're working with a global society that is very impatient. And nobody is, and we're using that to advantage. Said, how can we do all these things within the shortest time possible? So if I sort out the startup ecosystem, if we sort out the PE/VC ecosystem, if we sort out the fintech ecosystem, I can guarantee you that money is going to come here and it'll sit here.
Yeah.
And it is already doing that. And as you know, there are about 4 countries in the continent which are competing in Kenya at a global level. So of course you have South Africa, you have Egypt, of course you have Nigeria, then now you have Kenya.
Yeah.
And as I said in the beginning, I think we have the right mix to ensure that we become the authority in all those sectors.
Dan, you've touched on this already. You have got some good concessions on corporate income tax, capital gains tax. Are there any other concessions which you could say from a tax perspective are in the pipeline to further catalyze this flowing of capital?
We have, that's a very good question. What we're working on right now, we're working on tax, incentives for R&D, research and development, incentives especially for the alternative energy, which is the carbon and all these things. We're working on incentives for holding companies, more incentives on that. We're working on incentives especially for now the PE and the VC ecosystem, the startup ecosystem. And as you know, last year was the first time Kenya had incentives for startups.
Yeah.
And that has drawn some good attraction. But we don't stop there. Because now if you're competing yourselves with the best of the best in the world, you need to ensure that long money or from the private equity space, the VC space, the family office space is able to be attracted into Nairobi. So we're actually in the new proposals that we're going to submit this financial year, it will be really pegged on institutional capital. Now, a lot of things are happening in the country with regards to infrastructure development and also investment in assets and all these things. Our pensions and is really doing well there. Now we're trying to see, okay, with this money from pensions money and also long money from the private capital space, if we're able to now bring in those 2 components, it can really spiral us at a very, very scaled level that people have never seen before. Yeah.
Okay. From a regional perspective, there are naysayers who argue that even as Nairobi claims the bragging rights of the tech hub and the Silicon Savannah, it looks like a launch pad for foreign-dominated kind of startups and enterprises. So they come here, typically kind of incubate, and you're out. Really what you're raising, the money doesn't settle here. Dan, does that concern you? Do you think it's a fair assessment, and how do you change that narrative?
I think it is something that is out there which we have to deal with. I think different countries have different strengths. Let me say that. In Kenya, we have a good mixed salad of, we have people, which are very talented people. We have a lot of innovation, and innovations have been happening. And you know, in sessions, I always tell people that, of course, yes, the things that excited the world and put Kenya out there was things like M-Pesa. But I think we are also past that. As Kenya, I think that is something that we also need to appreciate, that Kenya is doing so many things from the innovation perspective and from the tech perspective. And that's why that ecosystem that I'm talking about needs to be sorted out now. And if you compare yourselves with the region, you have Kenya, you have, of course, our friends in Rwanda, Kigali, who are doing actually amazing work there. And I always say that as a region, we are stronger. So we can be strong in capital. We have the people, we have substance here and depth. And then people, then our friends in Rwanda they have technology, and also they have structures which they have worked on over a period of time. I said that if you're attracting somebody from around the world, you're attracted to Kenya, you're not giving them access to about 50 million people. You're giving them access to about 300 million people. So I think, and looking forward, Julian, different economies and different countries will also have to sort out their own issues in their own way. In Kenya, we have said we're going to also sort out our own issues by, number one, ensuring that our financial center is based on financial services and also tech-based. Other financial centers which will come up will be based on maybe mining and agri-tech and all these things.
Yeah.
And it is their right to ensure that they're able to attract whatever they want to do. And that's why for us, we are saying we want to be very deliberate. If people join us, I said, well and good. But I want to be unapologetically selfish that we are going to ensure that Nairobi succeeds in financial services and technology, and we shall ensure that we give the right incentives to the right people to be able for them to do business in Kenya and also stay in the continent.
As you talk about financial services and tech being the sweet spots, one of the conjoined area there then is virtual assets, which you touched on earlier. What are the plans in the pipeline for that?
The plans in the pipeline are quite strong. And remember, it has taken quite some time for us to, number one, for us to pass the bill, which is an act, number one. Number two is to also to get the regulations sorted out. And the reason why the regulations are taking time is because we want to get it right. I said, these are new space for everybody, even from all over the world. Even for those people who started the digital assets like the US and Singapore, everybody has their own way of drafting these laws and these regulations. So you have to benchmark and say, what exactly works for us? Now, and that pillar of crypto and all these blockchain and all these things, it'll be the next thing. So we need to find a way how we can embed it in different structures in our economy. It is heavy. It is billions of dollars of transactions, and we need to embrace it, but we need to embrace it well. Now, with that said, we have seen an attraction of firms having interest in setting up their offices in Nairobi. I announced some time ago that we have a list of about 50 firms. 50 firms, these are global firms, who are waiting to be licensed by the NIFC and as well as other regulators for them to set up in Nairobi. And South Africa is also doing well. Nigeria is also doing very well in that. But we have seen now a global attraction on Kenya because we have the right tools to ensure that happens. Remember, Kenya has been doing very well. Excuse me. Kenya is doing very well in payment services and payment service of PSPs and digital service providers. So on that element, we are very, very established in that. Now, people have seen that there's not much that there's no need to change much because the right mix is there. The people are there. The technology is there. So we just need to come in and are you giving me a good environment for me to be able to scale? And scalability in investment is very, very important.
I think I've seen, and correct me if I'm wrong, partnerships with other, if I could say, peer or benchmark financial centers, Qatar, Casablanca. What sort of lessons are you drawing from those kind of centers, and how are you implementing them here?
What we established is that financial centers cannot work in isolation. We have to learn from the best and from those who are doing things right. Now, our vision here for the NIFC is to be the preferred financial gateway into Africa. So if anybody is thinking about any investment in Africa, they should think about Nairobi. So what we did, we said, let's collaborate and partner with people who have come before us, people who have done things well and things which are very tangible. Number one, we have Qatar Financial Center, which has been there from time immemorial. Those guys are very big in funds, and a lot of funds are being placed there, or fund structures. Qatar, they want to partner with Africa and with Kenya. One of the ways now we're doing it is that we're saying that, hey, if you want to invest within the continent, please invest through Nairobi. And a lot of investments are happening in terms of infrastructure, in terms of mining, in terms of agriculture and the rest. So those structures, we want them set up here. We have DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center, which is the same. We have Casablanca Finance City, CFC, which is now Casablanca in Morocco. It's on the far end of the continent. Now, for them to do business in East Africa, they need a partner. So he said, if we're going to partner with our friends in the continent, he said, let us take care of the East Africa region, and you people can take care of that side, whereby they're more established. There are people like Astana Financial Center, which actually, if you go back and check, started at the same time the NIFC started. And you've seen how far those guys have gone. They're doing even over $2 billion worth of investments in 6 months. For me, I want to do 256 billion, which is $2 billion by 2028. Yes. I was telling you that we want to certify 150 firms by 2028. These guys, they certify about 2,000 firms a year. Them and Qatar. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're benchmarking, I think we have a long way to go. But those are guys, the Astana have really done well in technology, and also their capital market is quite deep. So for us, we want to partner with them. If you're looking for deeper capital, our companies in Kenya can actually go to the Standard Financial Center and actually look for capital so that they can be invested in the country. So we've been very, very deliberate in trying to see who we partner with, because as I said, working in isolation does not bring you any fruit.
Dan, sometimes we have these conversations and many might feel it sounds so elevated, so ivory tower. Mm-hmm. When we distill this to the grassroots, a Kenyan might be watching and wondering, what does this mean for me as an ordinary Kenyan going about my business in the informal side of the economy? Mm-hmm. What does it mean?
Let me bore you with also just a few statistics, and then we go down to what it means. Now, in addition to those numbers I was giving you, by 2030, we want to ensure that we attract between $5 billion to $10 billion in Kenya. And we want that money to sit here, and we want that money to be reinvested here. Our current import cover right now, our FX reserves, is about
14B.
About 14B.
Yeah.
Now, 14B, that is about 5 to 6 months import cover. And that means we can take care of our foreign obligations for about 5 to 6 months. For any economy, that is good, actually very good. Where do we want to be? We have been challenged that we want to ensure that we increase that to about 10 to 12 months. 10 to 12 months import cover.
That's ambitious, man.
And that's very ambitious. But now, if you see the deliberate things that we are doing, we can actually get there by even 2030. And if I tell you that I'm attracting $5 to $10 billion just in my segment, I've not touched agriculture, I've not touched mining, I've not touched anything else that we are doing externally. Just in this segment. Does that convert to jobs? Yes. Does that convert to that whole ecosystem?
Yeah.
So even by saying that, that has a correlation to ensuring that we get about 5,000 jobs impacted directly and about 10 to 15,000 jobs impacted indirectly. Yeah. And so that is now employment for everybody. As I was telling you last week, when I was saying the number of firms that we just certified are already attracting about 800 to 1,000 jobs directly and indirectly. So you may not see that this. So a normal Kenyan may think that these are huge figures, we don't feel it. However, you will feel it because you will be employed. But you will feel the money circulating. And Julian's $5 to $10 billion in the economy.
You will feel it.
You will feel it. You will feel it. And that is what we're tasked to do. And we'll ensure that will happen. And it must happen. And I always tell people that the reverse gear in the NIFC is broken. So we're just moving. We're moving forward as the NIFC and as a country.
Okay. As we wrap up our conversation, Dan, and I know we've touched on this earlier, the question of macro stability, policy stability is a big factor. And you've mentioned a couple of areas where you feel this could be done a lot better. Just as a way of closing, what sort of assurance can you give the investor community watching this that as you look ahead, we can give you the assurance that you will have the stability that you require for you to deploy your capital here?
In the current ecosystem that we are in and that we're living in, we have a cycle, which is, as you know, finance bill every year you go. Some people, investors, ideally, always say that they get scared because something may change. Something may change in your favor or something may change against.
Yeah.
But that is our budget cycle. We have to deal with it. But now we have looked at it very differently, and as the NIFC, and said, okay, what can we do to ensure that we create a longer and better predictability for our people and for people coming in? So something that we're working on, and I don't know if I can say it, is that we want to work on a more permanent. We're working on a more permanent solution, whereby instead of running every year to ask for incentives and all this, we're looking for a more permanent solution with our friends at the National Treasury, and to ensure that we create a sort of NIFC schedule somewhere.
Okay.
And I don't want to say anything else further than that. but what I can assure you is that we have something being worked on right now.
Okay.
We have a proposal being submitted in a couple of weeks, which will change the investment landscape and also the FDI landscape in Kenya for the long haul. And number two, it'll be quite bullish.
Okay.
Quite bullish. And which will now put us as a leading financial center, not in the continent. Because as you know, we want to be number one out of the major financial centers in the continent by 2028.
Yeah.
That is a target that we've given ourselves. And by 2030, we want to be a leading financial center in the world. And as you know, we're trying to compare ourselves with the best of the best. And so, yeah, so the challenge is there, but we're up for it. And I can assure you, Julians, if you interview me next year and in 2 years, it'll be a different story.
You know, I've got many follow-up questions there, but I'll hold it there. I'll wait to see what it is you're working on with the National Treasury. I'm also being flagged, our time is out. But final question, Dan. In this world, there are many skeptics around international financial centers. They will tell you they're just tax havens, which lead to revenue loss for governments and allegations of money laundering taking place. What would you say to those kind of people?
I would tell them that I think they need to, well, they're okay to say that because that is what they think it is. Historically, and the reason why they're saying that historically is most financial centers were tax havens, for that matter. But now I think financial centers are now moving out of that. If you want to now attract capital and scale and grow your economy, I think a financial center is quite important for you to bring in all these things because now it's we have an advanced sort of financial sector now. We have capital markets. I mean, you have the Retirement Benefits Authority. You have the Nairobi Securities Exchange. You have the Central Bank of Kenya. You have the PE and VC ecosystem. You have that fintechs. So who will take care of all these things? So financial centers are geared to ensure that that ecosystem is active, number one, is agile, and it can sort out its issues within a very, very, very short time. So I think we have moved away from this tax haven business. And I don't think financial centers are tax havens anymore. No. These are places which can attract the highest amount of capital in the world. And that's what we're trying to do.
Folks, you know, this conversation could have gone on because it is the high season at the Nairobi International Financial Center. The certifications coming in and the targets which Dan has told us he is looking at by the close of the year and the horizon, which is looking at quite ambitious. We've covered a raft of issues, including the sweet spots that we're targeting, whether it is financial services and tech. We've also looked at the kind of role he sees this entity playing within the broader macro space. $5 to $10 billion being brought in, playing a major role in Kenya's FX reserves, of course. We shall keep tabs with this gentleman to be sure that we hold them to account as far as their plans are concerned. So keep it business redefined.